Did you hear what this dumb shit said yesterday? He tried to undermine NATO again. He singled out NATO's smallest and newest member, Montenegro. Montenegro. And in an interview with this dumb shit Tucker Carlson, another Fox sewer, if there's somebody stupider on Fox than Tucker Carlson, well, of course there's Sean Hannity, but I don't know who it would be. But Trump was asked by Fucker Carlson why the U.S. should answer the call to defend Montenegro, which has only been in the alliance for about 15 months, if Montenegro was attacked. Now, Article 5 of the NATO Charter is that article that says NATO members can invoke a mutual defense clause if an attack occurs on its soil, and that would obligate all 28 members of NATO to come to that country's defense. So Tucker Carlson, in his fucking genius, asked Trump why the U.S., if Montenegro was attacked by Russia, why should we bother? This is what Tucker Carlson said. Quote, let's say Montenegro, which joined last year, why should my son go to Montenegro to defend it from attack? Trump said, well, I understand what you're saying. I've asked the same question. Montenegro is a tiny country with very strong people. And then the little shit from the Fox sewer, Tucker quickly said that he was, quote, I'm not against Montenegro. And he said that any country, like, I don't know, maybe Albania, could have been applied in his hypothetical scenario. But Trump added a little bit more to this bullshit scenario between Trump and Tucker Carlson. And Trump suggested that Montenegro's, quote, aggressive people, end quote. How many times do you think Trump's been to Montenegro? Do you think he's ever met or talked with a Montenegrin? He said Montenegro's aggressive people could spark a global conflict and drag the U.S. with it. Trump said, quote, by the way, they're very strong people. They're very aggressive people. They may get aggressive. And congratulations, you're in World War III. If this weren't real, everything that we've experienced in this country since Trump came down the magic staircase with his old lady, if this weren't real, this would be some of the funniest, sickest shit ever contrived by comedy writers or horror story tellers. But this is real. Montenegro, the country has 600,000 people. If they became aggressive and started a war with Russia, they couldn't invoke Article 5 and U.S. involvement. See, this is where Trump's abysmal, monumental ignorance, and Tucker Carlson's, but Trump, who doesn't know a fucking thing about NATO, this is where we could get in trouble. The reason that NATO would not come to Montenegro's rescue is because Article 5 says it has to be in response to an attack on a NATO member, not an attack from a NATO member. By the way, Montenegro pledged more troops to help fight the U.S.'s longest war in history in Afghanistan. And prior to joining NATO, this aggressive little fucking country, Montenegro, assisted in Afghanistan's reconstruction efforts for nearly 8 years. And rather than instigating World War III with Russia, Montenegro, according to Business Insider, Montenegro has had to fend off what it described as a Russian attempt to kill its prime minister in 2016. Putin and his gangsters are murderers, every fucking one of them. This is, see what I mean? This is like some kind of a nightmare. Trump then went on to say that NATO members are not contributing enough money. Trump suggested that the United States, which according to him, quote, pays 90% of the costs to defend Europe, end quote, which is horseshit. NATO members contribute to that organization's funding on an agreed cost share formula based on their gross national income. The United States contributes 22%, not 90%. Trump said, quote, it was very unfair. They weren't paying. So not only are we paying for most of it, but they weren't even paying, and we're protecting them. Add that to your little equation on Montenegro, end quote. How much longer are we going to allow this misfit to continue? Huh?